Hi folks, Maggie here. I wanted to have a end of the year heart-to-heart discussion with you today about shifting to a healthier lifestyle. Because this is the perfect time of the year to finally get off the fence and dive in. A new year is about to begin according to the way most of us measure time here in the USA. There's a sizzling, powerful energy of new beginnings in the air. Do you feel it? I do. All the forces of the universe are lined up like the Buffalo Bills at kickoff, an unstoppable force surging forward as the ball is punted into the future. That's us at the start of a new year. Everything is fresh. Anything feels possible. We're in an atmosphere of pure potential. We can begin to shape the kind of year we want to have just by the choices we make as it begins and continue to make as the year unfolds. There's no better time than now. Not later, not on the 1st, right now. Resist the urge to junk food yourself into a heart attack while you await the dreaded date's arrival. This isn't something to dread. Every bite of garbage is doing physical harm to your body. But when you stop poisoning yourself, you're going to feel so good, so fast, you'll wish you'd started years ago. I guarantee it. I suggest it's better to begin your transition to a plant-based lifestyle right away, the instant the decision is made, so that by January 1st, 2026, you're all in. You're ready to hit the ground running. From a spiritual perspective, there's nothing more harmful to us than believing something is the wrong choice for us and doing it anyway. Once we know better, we must do better in order to feel better. It applies to everything, not just food choices. Why everyone should make this change? Even those of us who didn't start until age 60 will get an average of 8 more years added to our life expectancy by making this dietary and lifestyle change. 8 more years. Our risk of cancer and coronary artery disease drop lower every single day that we eat this way. People who have type 2 diabetes get better so fast that their doctors have to monitor their blood sugar levels closely. It'll go so low that their need for insulin or other drugs might just be eliminated. Lots of people get off insulin on this lifestyle. Ditto that with high blood pressure. You go for a jog every day and suddenly your BP is dropping into a beautiful and healthy range without medications. Never stop your medications, by the way, without your doctor's supervision, okay? We really need to monitor things from a medical standpoint. Don't just go cold turkey all by yourself. All right. But you can measure the difference by yourself that these small lifestyle changes make in your physical health. Your stamina will improve, your vitality, your sense of well-being, depression lifts. Take a daily blood pressure reading at the same time every day, sitting in the same spot with both feet on the floor, your arm with the blood pressure cuff up at chest level, legs uncrossed, and just take that and jot it down. You're going to see a steady decline in your blood pressure, and that's a good thing. You can also monitor your sleep. You can use a smartwatch or other app to do this, or you can just go by how you feel you're sleeping at night. That too is going to improve. You should also check your most recent blood work for your cholesterol levels and your A1C markers. Note those too, because in 3 to 6 months, when you get your next test, you're going to see a marked improvement there as well. You don't have to do this on faith. Now, these improvements come when you're 100% all in on a whole food plant-based diet. Okay, that means no cheat days, no ultra-processed foods, no oils, 100% all in with exercise, okay? This is going to show you astonishing results. And trust me, it's not only worth it, it's a fun and wonderful way to live. You become a great cook. You automatically learn about flavors. You're not relying on grease and salt anymore to season your dishes. It's a wonderful change. It's enjoyable and pleasant. Besides high blood pressure, which I had, the other things that vanished for me when I switched, within the first week or two, most of them, included chronic heartburn. I used to just throw Tums in my mouth all day long. When I switched, that went away the first week. I was still drinking coffee. I was still eating rich foods, but the heartburn went away. I don't know. I had a really bad, itchy, flaky scalp, a lot of dandruff. That went away. I would snore so loud I'd startle myself awake at night. That went away. I felt tired all the time. I had mood swings and weird acne. Who gets acne at my age? That all went away. So here's the thing. Most people come into the whole food, plant-based way of life after a diagnosis. Cancer, heart disease, diabetes, lupus. And many find the diagnosis shocking when it shouldn't have been shocking at all had they had the proper information. It was inevitable. If you keep doing things that make you sick, you'll get sick. It's really that simple. If you keep doing things that make you sick, you will get sick. Autopsies of children as young as 12 years old who died of other causes in the USA routinely show coronary artery disease already underway in their little bodies. And that is 100% due to the standard American diet being touted as healthy. If you've been eating like everybody else in the United States, you already have plaque lining your arteries all around your heart. That's a fact. It builds over decades until your first heart attack. Sometimes folks get shaken up enough to make the necessary changes after less serious diagnoses like hypertension, also called high blood pressure, or prediabetes, or high cholesterol. Calling those conditions less serious, though, is kind of like saying that falling from the top of a building is less serious than hitting the pavement below. Both things are a part of the same descent toward the same inevitable end. One is not less serious than the other. It just occurs sooner in the order of things. If you don't yet have a diagnosis, you probably will. Chances are pretty good. These diseases are so common that they are trying to convince us that these are old age diseases, diseases of aging, they call them. It's not aging. It's the cumulative effect of the shit we've been putting into our bodies, finally adding up, building up to enough of a level that it's causing us serious difficulties. So why wait? Why not do the things now that you'd be doing once you get the scary diagnosis? Why not start ahead of time? And if you do already have a scary diagnosis, then please do not despair. It is not too late to turn your health around. It is not. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's patients in the first study he did were patients who were so far gone, their doctors had pronounced them terminal. They'd been told to go home and wait to die. Some of them discuss their experiences in the documentary Forks Over Knives. All the subjects of Doc Esselstyn's study who stuck with the plan were still alive 20 years later. Terminal patients told they had weeks, months, got another 2 decades by changing what they stuffed in their faces. Come on, people. This couldn't be easier. What to do right now? Okay, here's your homework. We're going to start. We're going to dive in. We're going to start. Are you ready? Here's what we're going to do. Put on one of the documentaries, either What the Health or Forks Over Knives, which is the one I recommend, but each of them speak to people in different ways. There's another one called How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. That's a fabulous one. Watch this documentary in a format that can travel with you through the house, maybe on your phone or tablet or a laptop, or if you have a kitchen TV, because you're going to be listening to it and watching it while you're doing the other part of your homework, which is the kitchen clean out. Okay, so to begin the kitchen clean out, first, empty the cabinets, take everything out, and then start putting things back one by one, but put back only the whole foods. There won't be very many if you haven't been doing this right along. Don't let that panic you. Don't worry about that at all. Don't give yourself those tired, lame excuses about not wanting to waste food. People, that food is either going in the compost bin or the septic tank. Either way, the only difference is the route it takes to get there. Nothing is wasted. Look, take what's not expired and unopened and take it down and give it to your local food pantry. We should be doing that every week or two anyway at this point. This is a great way to start that new habit for the new year. White sugar is not a whole food. White flour is not a whole food because the bran and the germ have been stripped away from the wheat grain, leaving only the endosperm, the fatty part. It has to be enriched with synthetic nutrients because its natural ones have all been taken out. So when you see enriched flour, you know that's garbage, okay? Whole grain flour doesn't need enriching. It has its own. White rice and white pastas are not whole foods for the same reasons. Ultra-processed foods, such as Impossible or Beyond Burgers and nuggets, are not whole foods. They are plant-based, but they are not whole foods. And they're made with a lot of oil. Most breakfast cereals are not whole foods. There are some, however. There's a Vita Bella brand that I get that's very good. And the ingredients read something like this: rice, corn, barley, dates. That's an example. That's what the ingredients list for a whole food product sounds like, okay? It's obvious. You don't have to learn rocket science. It's easy. Most canned soups are not whole foods. They might contain some whole foods, but they also contain non-whole foods and chemicals and other crap that you don't want, and they're very high in sodium. Oils and sprays are not whole foods. They might be made from plants, but not the whole plant. Olive oil, for example, is just the fat from an olive, not the whole olive. All the benefits of a tablespoon of olive oil, so touted in the Mediterranean diet's enviable PR campaign, you can get from eating 8 olives. Just as good, better, because with the 8 olives, you also get all the other parts of the olive and the fiber in the olive, and all of those parts work together to move the fat of the olive through your body without harm. But when you take all those other parts away and just eat the fat, harm occurs. As soon as you ingest any oil, including olive oil, your blood vessels constrict an average of 22%. It's like they're cringing. Please don't put that stuff in here. Jif and Skippy and Peter Pan peanut butter are not whole foods. They're sweetened and they have the very worst kind of oil, hydrogenated vegetable oil added. I cannot fathom why. Peanuts have tons of their own oil. Teddy Bear brand peanut butter is a whole food. Its ingredients list as follows. Are you ready? Here it comes. You might need to write this down. Drum roll, please. Peanuts. I know. Shocking, isn't it? So the next step you're going to undertake is to empty the fridge. Same rules apply. The cheese has to go. So does the butter and the margarine made from cancer-causing dairy protein casein and other parts and particles taken from cow's milk. If you still have meat or processed meat in there, That will go too. Now, it's hard to donate animal flesh because it's decomposing from the moment the animal's heart stops beating. So the expiration dates are very short. Maybe just take the meat out to the backyard and give it a proper burial. Non-dairy creamer is not dairy-free. Isn't that a hoot? It has milk ingredients, but it's mostly oil and sugar. There are plant-based creamers, but most have oil and all have sugar. They are not whole foods. Get a frother foamer for your coffee, okay? You can make a mountain of sweet foam from any plant milk, and they're not only better for us than creamers, they're more fun and they taste better. You can add a sprinkle of sugar. It doesn't take much. You can add some peppermint to get your peppermint spice creamer, or some vanilla, or some cinnamon, or some hazelnut flavoring. You can make your own, and it's way better. And I love the foam. It makes it festive. I can't think of what else you might have in your fridge. It's been 5 years for us. Eggs, I guess. Eggs. Buy eggs. Hello, tofu. And then there's mayo and other condiments. Check the ingredients. Trash them if necessary. I know it feels wasteful, but eating it so it won't be wasted is trading away precious moments of your life. The fourth step is the restock. Whenever you clean anything out, you leave a vacuum. Gotta fill it. Buy plenty of potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, beets, winter squash, turnips. These are the starches that are going to keep you full. Buy plenty of leafy greens like spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, beet greens, arugula, and other greens that are not lettuce. Buy plenty of cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, artichokes, and so on. These veggies, the greens and the cruciferous group, produce nitric oxide in your bloodstream, which is just like releasing scrubbing bubbles on your coronary arteries. The vegetables actually heal and repair the blood vessels, and they remove the plaque that hasn't yet calcified, if you eat enough of them. And enough is 5 to 6 servings per day, every day. And a serving is 1 cup raw or a half cup cooked. Buy a bunch of other frozen veggies like peas, corn, carrots, black-eyed peas, green beans, wax beans, anything and everything veggie. Stock up on oil-free, no salt added veggie stock, or better yet, save your veggie scraps in a bag in the freezer and boil them up to make your own broth once a week or so. Get yourself a bottle of reduced sodium tamari. It'll be where the soy sauce is. This is a secret flavor booster. Get a package of nutritional yeast, probably where the Bob's Red Mill grains are kept or in the bulk bins. It's dry yellow flakes that taste like a mild version of cheesy poof powder. It's kind of nutty and cheesy, and it adds a lovely umami richness to soups and stews and tofu and just any dish you can think of. Also brings with it a big boost of vitamin B12, which nobody's getting enough of. Get some rolled oats, the old-fashioned kind, or steel cut. Buy some whole grain pastas like macaroni and spaghetti. Get some brown rice and other whole grain rices. I've discovered a whole grain Tex Madi rice that's really excellent and almost as light and fluffy as white rice. Buy some other grains. Try barley or quinoa or both. Other items you'll want to include are some real maple syrup, some dates, raw sugar, whole grain flours, and some nice balsamic glaze as a salad dressing. Buy lots and lots of beans. Black, white, pinto, kidney, garbanzo. Buy all the beans. If you buy them canned, it's way easier prepping canned beans. Just drain and rinse. But aim for a reduced sodium or no salt added bean if you're buying them in the cans. It's nice to cook them from scratch. I just got my first Instant Pot. I think I will probably be cooking my beans from scratch from now on because that's going to make it super easy. Get some lentils. There are villages that's main food source is lentils, and it provides them with just about everything they need. So get some lentils. They are a superfood. Get some plant milk. You'll probably try several. Study the benefits and the taste of each and develop your own favorites for your own reasons. I have kind of landed on soy for me. I like the nutritional benefits of soy. Get some Ezekiel bread and English muffins in the freezer section of your grocer. Another acceptable bread is Dave's Killer Bread, rolls, and bagels. The rule with breads and rolls is it should be a whole grain with no eggs, dairy, or oil. Sourdough bread is included in the plan, even though it's not usually made with a whole grain, and that's because the benefits of the fermentation in sourdough outweigh the harm of the stripped down wheat. So browse the recipes here and over at forksoverknives.com, where there are hundreds, but take care as they've begun allowing oil in some recipes. Plan your meals in advance. This is an excellent tip. Plan your meals in advance. It'll be far easier for you if you do this. So my top tips are these. It's very helpful if you decide, at least at the beginning, but I think always, to just have the same thing for breakfast most days and leftovers from dinner for lunch most days. Thinking of what to make for each meal is the most time-consuming part of the whole thing for me. I have my own version of Ann Esselstyn's Warrior Oats for breakfast every morning, and it gets me all my servings of greens and cruciferous for the whole day in one meal. I've talked about this before, and everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I am addicted to this stuff. Warrior Oats sidebar: 2 cups of frozen greens, 3 artichoke hearts, 1 stalk of celery, 2 to 3 large mushrooms, a half teaspoon each of poultry seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, turmeric, and ginger. Grind some pepper atop the turmeric. Add 2 cups of water, boil 15 minutes, and then add a half cup of oatmeal. Cook until the oatmeal is done. Pour into a large bowl and stir in a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, aka Nuchi. Prior to discovering Ann's Warrior Oats, I still had oatmeal every morning for breakfast, packed with berries, all different kinds of berries, usually a whole banana and some flaxseed meal. So that's tip 1. Same thing for breakfast most days and leftovers from dinner for lunch most days. It's going to save you a huge amount of time. And my second biggest tip is batch cooking. Make large batches of chili, goulash, pasta, and sauces, soups, and stews and the like, so you don't have to cook as many times per week. Make a big batch that covers you for 2 or 3 dinners and a couple of lunches, and you'll save a lot of time. Tip 3 is variety. And this is really easy. I know when people first come into this lifestyle, they're kind of getting food calculators and trying to calculate whether they're getting the proper nutrients, and they're all in a panic about how much protein they're getting, and none of that is necessary. I promise, I did this at first. The numbers work. Here's all you need to do. Shoot for 20 different fruits, veggies, grains, and spices every day. 20 different varieties. You can rest assured if you're getting 20 different varieties a day, you're getting all your dietary requirements, including vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, plenty of protein. The only supplement needed is a daily B12, but everyone should be taking one of those, meat eaters included. Also, take a daily D3 supplement during the shorter days of the winter months, unless you live on the equator. We get our D3 from sunshine. Learn to cook without oils or sprays. Just get the pan good and hot. It's incredibly liberating. I have a video demo linked in the show notes and on the site, and it's also linked in the text version of this post. Very few pro chefs can cook without oil, but you and I can. Let's talk about basically putting a meal together. I begin with a starch, something filling like rice, pasta, quinoa, barley, white potatoes or sweet potatoes. Then add other vegetables for flavors. This is where the sauteed peppers, onions, mushrooms, and garlic can go in. Include cruciferous vegetables. Add broccoli and cauliflower florets or a cup or two of chopped greens to the mix. Have them together, mix them all together in one pan or serve them separately, any way you want to do this. Boost the protein. The above is already about 10% protein because all plants have protein. A potato is roughly 10% protein, and that's about what you want. So you're good to go. But for the protein worrywarts out there, you can dump in a can of black beans, drained and rinsed, or lentils with all the other veggies, and that'll give you a big protein boost. We only need 8 to 10% of our total calories to come from protein. For calculating purposes, you need to know that protein has 4 calories per gram. Sprinkle in turmeric, garlic powder, onion powder, maybe some Cajun seasoning here and there. Or for a lighter flavor blend, I'll use thyme and bay leaves with a little oregano. If you're not watching fat, sprinkle sesame seeds or chia seeds over the top. See how easy this is? Just cook a bunch of veggies together or separately, season them up any way you like them, and serve them over a rice, pasta, or potato base. On weekends, I make a batch of healthy cookies. My oatmeal raisin are the healthiest, and that was last week's post, also linked on the site. And a big batch of foods such as soup or stew or casserole, something to last. Every weekend, I also dice up some extra firm tofu and put it into soak in a marinade of 1/3 cup each of reduced sodium tamari, balsamic vinegar, a good balsamic vinegar, and vegan Worcester sauce, plus a shake or two of liquid smoke. I soak that overnight, turning the bowl frequently to kind of shake it up and get the liquid all over every piece of tofu. And then I drain off the liquid and bake the tofu on a baking sheet lined with silicone liner or parchment paper for about 11 minutes at 400 degrees. When we have our big giant salads for dinner, that tofu is our favorite topping, and it's also the protein source. There's always enough tofu bites left over for Hub's lunchbox the next day too, so that's a bonus. Another weekend task I always do is soaking the cashews. I cover a cup or two of cashews in water and soak them overnight. The next day I drain and blend them into cashew cream, adding in just enough water to get the consistency I want. During the week, I use it to add to macaroni or potato salads. I use it as the base for macaroni and cheese with a Z, or for making spreads for sandwiches. I even use it as a base for frosting. I do not like to start my week without both tofu and cashews soaked and ready to use. You're going to develop your own go-to meals, recipes, weekend habits, and shortcuts, and downright brilliance where food prep is concerned, I guarantee it. Nobody in your circle will be as healthy as you. And you'll probably drag your family into this with you because that's how we veg heads roll. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be, I promise. The hardest part is just making the decision to do it. Cut out the animal products, cut out the oils and sprays, cut out the ultra-processed frankenfoods, and what's left is the good stuff. Eat real food. Eat plants. You won't even believe how rapidly you'll feel the difference. So how easy is that? Look, I'm here for you. I've been at this for 5 years. I wasn't perfect from day one. You can email me anytime with questions or leave them in the comments section. I read and respond to everything. And the only dumb question is the one not asked. We are all figuring this out as we go along. And I think the very best thing we can do in life is help each other. The important thing isn't hitting perfection on day one or even in year one. Hubs and I have been evolving this lifestyle for 5 years now. improving continuously over time as we learn more, experiment more, and feel better and better. The important thing, my friends, is to begin. You simply have to begin. The longer you wait, the less time you'll have here on this lovely planet with the people you adore and don't want to leave. And the years you'll gain from taking these steps, because it's several, will be quality years of thriving health. So what do you say? Are you ready to rock 2026 and the rest of your life? Come on, let's do this together.
And now a word from our sponsor.
The best book of my entire career. Genocide of the female of the species. As I was writing them, I was hit in the chest by a wrecking ball, and suddenly my heart was racing. I've always kind of felt that it was the energy of that book that triggered the thing. And a lot of other people felt that energy too.